Start the press conference with you. It's been almost the perfect weekend, really. A fantastic Saturday, fastest in FP3 and in FP4, an all-time lap record in qualifying, and then a stunning performance in the race today. How crucial, though, was that start? Because you knew that the man sat next to you was going to be pushing hard at the beginning.
Yeah, it was one of my best starts with this bike. I always struggling a bit to don't have wheel in the start, and today everything went well. I just closed a bit the corner 2 because I was hearing that Fabio was there. And I was very scared about last corner because last year he was exiting from turn 12 very, very fast. So the first lap I just tried to close a bit, and then I tried to set my pace. I was knowing that Fabio for sure was the man to beat today. But in terms of pace, I think if he was in front, the only problem maybe was the front pressure, because with this condition can be very high. But the pace today was more difficult for me to be more fast than this, because the rear was sliding a lot for the temperature, and also the front was having a bit of front lock. So for me was everything perfect today.
We've been waiting for this kind of performance from you and the new Ducati GP22. It's not been the easiest start to the season, so how important was it for yourself and Ducati to find this sweet feeling with this new bike, and how confident are you now that we're going to see you fighting at the front in every race?
Yeah, for sure. I was more optimistic during the test, but arriving to the first race, the reality was a bit different. And I started struggling a bit. But I think that we did a good change, a good thing, stopping to trying to adapt this bike to me, and just let the bike the same, and riding, and sure that this bike had to need a different riding style, because now I can be more fast on the corner, so it's a bit different. But finally, I think that I'm back to my best shape, like I was last year, and I would like to continue like this from now, just not losing too much point, because after 6 races already have 33 points are a bit, so I just want to start recovering a bit.
And just quickly, it didn't look like the shoulder was causing you too much problems out there on circuit today, but we have to remember it's only 8 days since you had that big crash in Portimao. So how were you physically in that race?
I was more worried. I was very worried about the race, because this morning in the warm-up, I was without painkiller, and it was very difficult. I was struggling during the warm-up. But then, Clinica Mobile have always something good to give to you, and have helped me. Just the last part of the race was difficult, because all the braking are in the right, and apart the last corner, and was very difficult. Turn 6 was very difficult to stop the bike, because I was like someone that was pressured to me here, the end was painful. But now I feel more pain, but it's okay if it's now and not before, and not like before.
Yeah, maybe some more Prosecco will help ease the pain later on. That's not, I know you're testing here tomorrow, but congratulations, Pecco. A fantastic job here today in Jerez. We'll move on to second place, Fabio Quartararo. Fabio, you couldn't have done anything more, really, to try and beat the man sat next to you. You said in part Ferme the race pace was insane. I guess, like Pecco just said, that the start was so important, and the fact that he got the whole shot, I guess, already made in the first corner you were a little bit concerned about your winning potential.
Yes, I managed to get a really great start, but Pecco made an amazing braking in turn 1. 1 and 2 he was super strong, and I knew if I couldn't overtake him the first 2 or 3 laps was going to be difficult for our front tire, and basically it's what happened. Then during the race I always stay a little bit far behind, because it was impossible to ride with the front. I had the front was sliding so much, moving, and was feeling like chewing gum. And at the end I had to try, but I couldn't make nothing to be closer. I was a little bit closer in turn 10. I tried to get 11 really fast, but I go wide, and I knew it was not possible to overtake. But super happy, because I feel I've improve my riding with difficulties on the front, so this is a great point.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, you've ridden so hard today without making any mistakes. Pecco also was completely faultless, but that must give you a lot of satisfaction when there's a lot of pressure, it's a difficult race, the grip levels are not great, you didn't make a mistake out there, so many positives to take from this Grand Prix.
Yes, so many good things to test, and was funny because sometimes Pecco missed the apex and I missed the apex. So every time he did something, I was doing the same behind. So our race pace was really similar. Everything was similar, but at the end, I'm super happy because our pace was really fast. Last year here we had a really tough race physically, and I'm super happy because I feel much stronger and had no pain today. So really happy and looking forward to arrive in the next race.
A great week, 45 points in Portimao and here in Jerez. You will go home to France in 2 weeks' time as the World Championship leader. That must be a special feeling because I think there's going to be a big crowd coming to cheer you on in Le Mans in 2 weeks.
Yes, I'm really looking forward because, you know, I never had a part of my first year in 2019, but I was not in the same position. I was a rookie that was trying to get a great result and arriving like leader of the championship. More than this is, you know, I never really see the fans in Le Mans really cheering for myself. So arriving there with this kind of position, I think it's gonna be crazy, and yeah, looking forward to see them.
Another great job, Fabio. Congratulations on your second place. We'll move on to a man who's having a sensational 2022. Congratulations again, Aleix Espargaro, a pretty racing rider. Aleix, your third podium now in the last 4 Grand Prix. You had to work pretty hard for that one, trying to find a way through on Marc Marquez and Jack Miller. Never an easy task, but you must be delighted to be on the podium again, and another great job by Aprilia.
Yeah, I did. I worked hard. It was quite frustrating race because I know that the thing we have to improve the most is the clutch. Our starts are a disaster this season. I lose a couple of positions. I managed to overtake Nakagami, but then it was impossible for me to overtake Mark and Jack. I was very angry because I had a lot more pace, but they brake very late, and then they were stopping in the middle of the corner. I couldn't really do speed corner, and I saw how Pecco and Fabio were going away, but it was impossible to overtake. I knew that if I try, I will hit Mark and crash for sure because he braked very late. So I decided, okay, today you will not be there fighting for the victory. You have to wait and see. I knew that with 40 minutes, every time they were going a little bit more wide, so I knew that they will do a mistake. And when I overtook Jack on the last corner, I saw Mark going wide, so I passed both them in the, I think it was 5 laps till the end, and I dropped more than half second the next 3 laps. I was able to stay in 38 low, which was, I think, good pace. Today, sincerely, these 2 guys beside me, they were very strong. But I think today I had the chance. I will be a little bit more closer. I'm not sure if I had the pace to fight with them for the victory, but at least to be closer than what I finished. But it's like this, and I'm very happy with 3rd place here in Jerez. So yeah.
Second in the World Championship, just 7 points behind the reigning world champion going into Le Mans in 2 weeks' time. You've tried to sort of play down your championship ambitions this year, but is it now time to say that Aleix Espargaro and Aprilia are genuine championship contenders in 2022?
Yeah, I think yes. I mean, Fabio was the last year champion. He's leading, and we're just in 6 races, which is the 33% of the championship. We're just 7 points back. So I think this train just passed once, especially in my case, so I will try to get by. I know it's going to be tough, difficult, and I know that especially with Fabio and Pecco, when they are in their best moments like today, I miss still something. We still have to improve that bike, and I still have to improve a little bit, but the consistency will be the key. And for the moment, my championship has been quite good, so I'm extremely happy, and I will try to push Fabio till the end.
And just quickly, such a special moment for any rider to celebrate a podium here in Jerez, but in particular for the Spanish riders. I'm sure you've dreamt of this moment since you were a kid, watching MotoGP back at home. So when you came into the stadium section, turns 9 and 10, and celebrated with your home crowd, how special was that?
It was crazy. I saw this morning at 6:30 a.m. the Nieto and Pelucchi corner were completely full of people. It was unbelievable. Like when I was 20 years old, I couldn't really remember this. And it was quite emotional on the podium because I would say even more than Argentina, because I've been racing here since I was a kid. I never finished in the podium, so to do it today with 32 years old, fighting for the championship with the best guys of the world is, you know, it's like a dream. So yeah, it was very emotional to see all the people cheering, and yeah, I'm very happy.
Great job, Aleix. Let's hope that train keeps rolling on into Le Mans and further into 2022. OK, ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 men here in the Red Bull Grand Prix of Spain. Pecco Bagnaia, Fabio Quartararo and Aleix Espargaro. That's enough from me. We'll hand over now for questions from the floor, please.
Yeah, hi everybody. Mirko Colombi, Motosprint Italy. A question to Pecco and Fabio. So, in the final of 2021, we see you fighting for the title. Will be the same this year?
I hope. I hope. I have still something to recover, but it's still long. So we wait, and I hope to fight against the two riders that in this moment are on the top.
If at least fight for the championship is always good. But of course, today with Pecco, I think that is always great. That even if I finish second, you always learn. I think I learn more in this kind of race than Portugal, because you always try to, he pushed me to the limit today, and I think it's great to have someone like this because you improve a lot on your riding, and yeah, and I'm sure Aleix will be here because the consistency he have this year is big, so he's part of the game.
Hi guys, this is Frank Weying from Ziggo Sport in the Netherlands. I have a question for Pecco and one for Aleix. Pecco, this was obviously your first win of the season. If you compare it to the other 4, and maybe especially the first one that you had to beat Markim Aragon, how do you rate this one? How important was it for you, not just for the championship, for you personally? And Aleix, we know that you lost the concessions now, Aprilia. Is it going to affect you anyway this season, or is it going to affect the Aprilia riders for next year, whoever rides the bike?
My first win was my first win, so speaking emotionally was incredible. In our battle, winning in Aragon, that was a very difficult track for me. My first win, so was incredible. But today is great too, one of the best, because have arrived after a difficult period. We never stopped working from the start of the season, and finally after all this hard work with the guys at home and here, we finally started to demonstrate the potential that I was knowing that was there of this bike, but was very difficult to demonstrate. So. Today is a great day, and also a great victory.
I think that if we are in race 6 and we are at 7 points from the leader, is because the bike is working well. So it's fair to lose the concession. It's fair to fight with them with the same weapons. I believe a lot with the Aprilia engineers, and I know that in Noale they will be a little bit more stressed, but I don't think that it will change quite a lot. My life will be a little bit easier. I had a test after Le Mans in Mugello, so I will have more time at home. I will have more time to go bicycle, so that's good. And yeah, I'm not really stressed. I think it will not really affect. The most difficult thing was to reach the level that we reached. So now the engine will have to last a little bit more, but I think they will do.
You can cycle 300k more.
Exactly.
Yeah, hi guys, Adam Wheeler from On Track Off Road. Fabio, a question for you. Considering the start to the season, many people saying Yamaha's lacking speed, the lack of competitiveness of the other Yamahas. Are you quite surprised to be where you are in the championship now and with your form, the way everything's going?
Well, I was more surprised to be leading the championship already last week, because if you check, a part of Mandalika was, I will not say a disaster, but my position was 7, 8, 9, second, and then of course the victory. So we always finish in the top 10, and at the end I think that is you know, this kind of races that you need to give your best to take 3, 4, 5 points more than what you need, makes that these points are super important. But to be honest, I'm riding to the limit and have no more in every moment. But it's true that the others Yamaha are struggling quite a lot, but at the end this is not my problem. I have already enough to think to be fast with our bike, so I'm looking for myself.
Imre Paulovic from Motorsport Aktuell and Motorrad from Germany. Question to Pecco. So Pecco, you have mentioned that there is the potential of the Ducati GP22 and you had to get used to it. Could you explain where the potential of this bike is better than last year's bike and what you had to change in your riding style to get to this full potential?
Already last year I was using more corner speed, but this year the bike is a bit different in the erogation. So I was struggling to have the same riding style of last year, and in the last 2 weekends I worked a lot to entry faster and understand how to do it, and it's not easy to change like this because I worked a lot in the previous year with Ducati to have a great braking, great entry, but now it's a bit different. We are speaking about 10th, so it's not a big differences, but the biggest difference is that now I can enter more fast.
Question for you, Fabio. Michel Turco, Motor Revue. We race in different track, different condition. Have you now a more clear idea where you will have to push or you will have to be more conservative for the championship?
I think I don't need to be conservative. I think I need to give my best all the time I'm on track. And in Austin, I finished 7th, and unfortunately, I was happy because I felt I gave my best and I couldn't do better. Maybe P6, but I fight exactly the same for P7 than for P1 and P2 today. So, I mean, I have to be on the limit everywhere because I know it will arrive some tracks where I will struggle, and it's a reality that we will be struggling like the beginning of the year. But I will be on the limit all the time.
Yes, Manuel Persino for Riding Sport Japan. Aleix, can it be said that the incident Marquez had at the last turn was kind of present for you because this was made you overtake them, or do you have a plan to overtake them? Because you just said that you couldn't do it.
Yeah, but this is racing. I mean, I think my pace, actually I proved that my pace today was stronger than Jack and Mark, but I could not overtake them. But I know that I had to be very close all race, putting the wheel in every single corner. Every time that they open a little bit the door, I put my wheel to make pressure. And I knew perfectly that in 14 minutes, at least 1 or 2 mistakes will arrive. For me, I was happy 5th place. I take some points and was good for the championship, but I knew that I will have my opportunity, maybe just one, and it arrived. And was good because at the same corner that Mark has the mistake, I was overtaking Jack. So yeah, I mean, I was a little bit better than them on the speed corner, but Mark was very good on the brakes. So yes, finally I was able to pass them, and as soon as I passed them, I was able to put many 38 lows, which was a strong pace, and open 2 seconds in just four laps was good. And yeah, this is racing. We have to improve the clutch because this is my biggest problem this year. I'm starting, it's a disaster, the starts. Happily for me, I start in the first or second row, so I limit the damage, but the starts are a disaster.
Hi, Daryl Ramaillet, GP Inside. Fabio, did Yamaha told you that Rins was out of the points? And Aleix, Jack is not the best finisher, and Mark struggled with his arm. Do you think you made the difference in the last laps because of your physical condition?
No, I mean, if this is the last race, of course, but it's still 16 races to go. At the end, if you look at the top 5 before the race, everyone was super tight. So, of course, I didn't know nothing, and I had already enough work to follow Pecco.
No, I think today I was a lot faster than them, but I was not able to overtake. And this is racing. It's not just about to be fast, but you also have to be good on the overtakes, and I was not today. But they were lapping in 38 half, 38 high, and when I had free track, I put 3 consecutive laps in 38.2 in the last part of the race. So I was faster than them today, but they were very good on brakes, and this is racing. You are not racing alone, and you have to also overtake.
David on track off-road. A question for Fabio and a question for Aleix. For Fabio, when you were behind Pecco, I mean, obviously, you know, you're having problems with the front tire temperature and pressure. Did you really understand that you had to get far past him quite quickly? Or did you think that you could follow him and just wait for a chance? And for Aleix, did you also have issues because you were behind Mark and Jack for a long time? Did you also have problems with pressure and temperature?
Basically, I couldn't stay closer because already when I start to feel the front on the limit, I say, okay, I know that I cannot overtake now because Pecco was braking super late and hard. And last year in turn 12, I was much faster, and this year, all the weekend, I was not able to be faster, or they make a big step. But I decided to stay a little bit little bit far from Pecco. But at the end, you need to try something at the end, and I pushed to the limit, and I couldn't do nothing. But was, like I said before, I think was I improved a lot today because riding on this kind of condition, I could really think how to manage, and we did it on a good way. So I think it's a great experience for the future.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I was following them, and they were lapping in 38.5, 38.7, and I had a lot of chattering on the left corners. I couldn't make speed corner, and as soon I knew was the front tire, but I had to fight for the podium, so I couldn't really give them a gap. So for me, it was very difficult to manage this situation, very, very difficult. And as soon I overtook them, I was half second faster, and I had no problems at all, no chattering. The bike was turning, I had a lot of grip. So, but we know this. We know that this is we are on the limit, and you know that when you are following one bike, and I was following 2, all the pressures increase, and it's very difficult. This is why I'm saying that, yeah, today Fabio and especially Pecco on the front were super strong. But I think that if I had better start, I could maybe try to follow them.
Simon Patterson from Motorcycle Sports. Question for Fabio. Fabio, we saw last season that at the end of the year, Pecco found some strength with the bike, and he was really, really hard to beat. Are you a little bit worried that he seems to have found that same step a lot earlier this year than last year?
Well, Pecco, basically, he was super fast last year, but you know that last part of the year he was unbeatable. Not only for his speed, but the way he was riding, and everything was super fast. And of course, this year he's super fast already before. So I will not say worried, but of course he's one of the fastest of the grid. So it will be a good fight.
Matteo Aglio, La Stampa in GP1.com. I have a... Okay. I have a question for Pecco. What was the most difficult thing to manage? Your shoulder or Fabio behind you for all the race?
Fabio. Fabio, because was not a gap of 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Was 5/10, 6/10, 4/10, 5/10, all the race like this. and it's very easy to commit mistakes in this situation. And today I was just trying to ride perfectly, and when you are in this situation, you don't have time to think if you have some problem, like my shoulder. So I was totally concentrating on be the best on track and on be fast on track, and the main thing was trying to be faster, because Fabio, if I was losing or going wide in a corner, he was already there. So it was very important to be constant with the time.
Okay, Pecco, Fabio and Aleix, congratulations again, guys. Have a good test tomorrow, and we'll see you in France in 2 weeks' time.